Hey everybody, it's Bray. Sean had to step out a little bit early for this episode, but it's a banger nonetheless. He's here for most of it, and we have Ryan here as well.
Yo, what up? It's your boy.
In this one,
Ryan talks film.
Ryan talks film, and Bray is also talking film.
Yes,
he doesn't have an account for it.
Yes.
We're talking about Avengers Endgame.
The endiest of games you've ever seen.
Exactly.
The biggest game that's ever ended. That's fair. That's accurate, actually.
That is
this
fair.
movie freaking bangs. The first 10 minutes, 5 minutes are spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
We do let you know once we transition to spoilers.
Yes, we will tell you.
So yeah, it's a pretty good one. If you like movies, we hope you enjoy this.
If you haven't seen Endgame yet,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Go give Disney your money. It's already made like $3 billion.
Damn. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it yet, you can listen to the first 5 to 10 minutes that are spoiler free and decide if you want to see it. And if you just aren't about movies, then you could probably skip this one.
That's cool. It happens.
It does happen. But if you do, then we'll see you next episode. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy our review of Avengers Endgame.
Bye.
We're here. Is
that
what the intro sounds like?
Yeah, that's the freaking Avengers theme, man.
Okay, I know that theme because Sean always hums it.
Sean hums a lot of things, man.
He does.
I like whistle it at work or like hum it in the shower.
You do.
Sean will even whistle things that annoy him.
No, yeah.
He'll do it all day.
like the washer and dryer song.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, our washer and dryer sings to you.
Yeah, that's fire. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mine does it too. I hate that noise.
What's the noise again?
It's like do 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 do.
Wait, do 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 do.
Yeah, that's ours. Yeah. Yeah, that is stupid. We're talking about Avengers Endgame, a little indie film. Don't know if any of you guys have seen it.
Yeah,
really small underground.
A24.
A24. I wish it was.
God,
we've been following them since like the beginning.
Oh yeah,
so if you're just now catching on,
I was friends with them in
you're
film
not
school, man,
fan.
and we would get really high and watch Pulp Fiction together.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Avengers Endgame. First 5-10 minutes ish.
We're gonna be.
We're not.
We'll
gonna
go spoiler free for you guys.
We're not gonna spoil a single thing.
Even though the movie at the time of recording has been out almost 2 weeks.
It's been out for a while. If you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of your fault.
The highest grossing movie of all time.
Of all time?
Of all time.
God damn.
And everyone saw it within the first 3 days.
Pretty much.
Or everyone has been spoiled by it already. So there's no way. Sure. I mean, we're doing this because we're nice. But we should.
It's going to be short. It's going to be like 5 minutes.
This is stupid. If you haven't seen... Here's the thing. If they haven't seen Endgame by now, they don't give a shit about Endgame. And if you don't care about Endgame, you can skip this episode.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean...
Like, okay, if you're listening and you don't care about Endgame, the point of the
don't
whole thing
unsubscribe.
Just
listen to some tunes, man.
It's a good movie. That's all you have to know.
It's a good time.
Movie.
Yeah,
we all rate it highly, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah. We do. So for let's say people are who aren't crazy about it, but they see it's hyped up, like it's a movie that they could go see now. But maybe they haven't seen that many Marvel movies or anything like that. Do you think it would mean anything? Again, this is still spoiler free. Do you think it would mean anything to someone who like this was their first Marvel movie or the first one that they like tried to care about?
Absolutely not.
No,
it would be the worst thing ever.
It would be
like
awful. You would have no idea
what is even going on. Who is anybody? I mean, you don't really have like any like character introduction. I mean, maybe besides like
No, you don't. No, you don't have.
I mean, it's a climax.
You have.
1,000% the third act of a larger story.
It's the bigger picture essentially. Because I feel like minimum At least for me, because you guys are bigger fans of this film in general.
Ryan's probably the
than I am.
biggest fan. Like
Yeah.
it took me
I
a
like
while to catch
movies
on to
a
like
lot.
actually like really like and appreciate Marvel. Like I still liked and appreciated them, but like
Yeah.
get up to this level. Like it took
Yes.
Endgame to get up to like the level that I'm at right now.
Yeah,
Now like I
so-
want to like rewatch everything.
Gotcha. Yeah. So basically, for me, because I'm not as into his movies as these guys are, I feel like you have to watch a few of the other Marvel movies. Like everyone knows who Iron Man is. Everyone knows who Thor is. Guardians of the Galaxy. Like those people. Like you may or may not know, but I feel like you have to watch a few of those so you know most of
feel
the
like you
people.
should probably watch Avengers 1, Civil War.
I didn't watch Civil War.
Okay.
Avengers 2?
Oh wait, no. Okay, I think you can get away with Avengers 1.
I watched that.
You can get away with it. I feel like honestly you'd miss out on a good amount of story beats, or like nostalgia
Civil War?
for it. But if you just watched the first Avengers
Yes.
and Endgame, I think you could get away with it.
The first
Or,
Avengers.
not an Endgame. The first Avengers, Infinity War, and
Yeah.
Endgame.
No matter what, you have to watch Infinity War.
Definitely.
Of course.
What about Age of Ultron or Civil War? You could on it. I feel like
You could get away with it.
I think you get away with
No, you don't need to watch Civil War. There was one part I didn't get because of Civil War, and I asked you, and it was an easy answer.
Was it because why
Oh,
Tony and Cap weren't friends?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
they,
it.
They weren't super friends.
Mhm.
And even
Definitely.
then, you're
They
like,
weren't super friends.
they
but
got in
they
a
were
fight.
Super friends.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Very good.
yeah. So
Thank you.
depending on how much you want to get out of it, I think you can get away with very few movies to understand.
But the beauty of the movie is that you can get away with, average moviegoers who have seen the movies. They might not have rewatched them or anything. But you can also say the movie, I feel like, also delivers. So I feel like it delivers to like the general audience for the most part.
Yeah,
And it is delivered to like the diehard fans, be it through comics or all the movies. So like the people who rewatched every movie before, or I even watched like a handful of them before, and it banged because it was like I know like they literally I guarantee like they referenced every single movie in the whole cinematic universe. So 21 movies, like 11 years of film, they like referenced it, and it wasn't always like annoying. It was rarely annoying.
Oh yeah.
If anything, I didn't find anything really obnoxious in any way. But I mean,
thought-
it was amazing.
I actually thought that was really great because
yeah,
I mean,
I think
like,
it's perfect.
I mean, like, because like some people, like I'm talking about myself here mostly, like haven't really like seen like all the movies like recently, and even like have missed
Yeah.
some. So like having kind of that recap was really nice.
I missed quite a few.
Yeah, before Endgame came out, Vudu was having a digital sale on some Marvel movies.
That's a good call.
And normally, like, so Marvel and Disney, to that extent, doesn't drop the prices of their physical DVDs or Blu-rays. They're always going to be, like, full retail price, which is shitty. And so, if they're ever on sale for less than that, even if it's just digital, it was a good buy. So I bought, like, 10 Marvel movies, so like $100 worth of movies.
Yeah,
And then I watched, like, a good amount of them before I saw Endgame, so it was perfect for me.
Damn.
gotcha. Yeah, so I think spoiler wise, that's about it. Consensus
Kinda
wise,
all you can say is like it's cool.
We all enjoyed it. I believe. I think everyone that saw it for the most part liked it. There was,
Yeah,
but
it's not like a really divisive movie, is it?
no,
It's pretty crowd pleasing.
yeah.
Maybe in like film Twitter area,
Yeah.
like some folks
There's
that I
always
associate with.
someone that will hate
There's always
it. But
yeah. I mean, if like you don't like if you hate superhero movies, like what do you expect? Like there are people who like I hate every superhero movie, and then they watch it and they're like I hate it, and it's like
Cool.
What did
Why'd you go?
Why did you go? What did you, okay,
Sweet. So that was a waste of money. Or,
So do you just like wasting your time or?
yeah, it's a hobby of mine. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, it's a good movie. From here on out, there are spoilers. We've warned you.
You've been warned.
You've been warned. There are spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, just you probably don't care. So just keep listening.
Or just pause the podcast right now.
Go see
it.
Come
Then
back.
come back.
Do
Hit
whatever.
play.
Do whatever you need, man. We're here for you. We're waiting. Anyways, you have a timeline, Ryan, because we're gonna be out of order all over the
I
place.
do.
here.
So I wanted to when I was thinking about how we diagnose this film and talk about it, how we can do it without it turning into a complete cluster. Because essentially, I really just want to talk about the end and like the whole last hour because it bangs so hard. But I feel like if we just talked about that, we wouldn't.
First
be
of all,
talking about
3
the whole movie.
hours. Holy shit!
Yeah, you were like,
It
"Is it
did
really
not feel
3
like 3
hours?"
hours.
And I was like, "Yeah."
It felt like 3 hours, but it didn't at the same time. Like I was satisfied through all the 3 hours, so I was like, all right, like
Yeah,
I'm happy.
It felt like
was-
I felt like why it felt so long for me was the scope of like how long the movie like went on.
yeah.
Like the things happen, and then this is a good spoiler time because it jumps to 5 years later.
yeah.
And then the rest of the movie is that like they don't go back on that. Like they lived that. They had to deal with that shit for 5 years.
Yep.
And then they had to. So I thought because it felt like this really long like odyssey, like this long saga of events that's just like. And I think why it felt like that was because of how it interweaved like all the stories from the past. Was it felt nostalgic for those moments because it felt like a true culmination of every single movie.
Yeah.
So I think is amazing and it's never been done before because we've never had storytelling on this scale like this in such a popular way, in such a blockbuster way. So it's really, really cool to see what happens, like, and how they did it and how much creativity and love was like put into this. Because this movie, like, if we thought I always thought like Infinity War should not have worked. Like that many people in a movie without it being a complete clusterfuck like is a miracle. But this movie says like fuck you to that. Like this movie is insane. Like
it's really well done.
You can't even talk about it without like after the first 5 minutes like oh like what happens? And it's like dude I can tell you like 30 seconds of the plot. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like
well, it just shows like I know it was good, but in the moment, I was like, holy shit. But right now, I can't even remember half of the things that went on because there was so much that happened.
Right. I agree.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot.
in.
And I feel like the third act, the final battle sequence is such like a sensory overload and so exciting and awesome that like
that you
it kind of overshadows everything else.
But everything else was really good.
But everything else was done really well. But it's not, it's because you saw it once. Right?
I saw it once.
Sean, you saw it once. So I saw it Thursday night, the premiere night, and then I saw it Sunday afternoon.
3 times?
No, twice. So twice. I saw it 2 times. And it felt like so long ago. Like the things that like are exciting, like on paper, like when we talk about these things, like I've already accepted that they happened. Do you know what I mean? Like it's normal that like things that happen in the third act. It's normal that they kill Thanos immediately when really in the theater, that was the most shocking thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
Like they slice his head off. I was like, oh my God. Like
what now?
What now? And then it says 5 years later. I was like, holy shit. Like,
like that's just it. I was
that
like,
was
God,
insane.
Like, really? Yeah.
That was amazing. Cause like, I mean, he builds him. He is the big bad and they just fucking kill him.
Yeah. Wait, are we going out of order?
No, that's the big opening thing. Well,
okay,
I guess we missed Hawkeye's scene. Okay, so Hawkeye's the very open, and then
that me and Sean looked at each other, and we were like, "No."
It's like fuck this movie. I'm walking out. Like,
that was rough, and that was
sad.
so well done and amazing, and I loved it, and I love his big howdy stance. There's a picture of him where he's like his legs are really stretched out, and he's like standing up while she's shooting her arrow. And he looks big howdy. I'll have to send you a picture of it.
Howdy.
Big howdy.
That's our meme.
I knew something bad was gonna happen because like it was just like too happy, you know, he's like with his family, spending quality time with his daughter, with his wife, with his kids and everything. Everything's going great. And then poof.
And I feel like that too is like such a good reminder of like we remember that happened last year, but honestly that was so long ago and it's become so normal that like these superheroes died. Like this happened in these movies and like,
it's still a meme.
That was
like,
a big deal
it's
last
still
year.
Like a popular
like people talked about it, people were upset about it, like people were worried. They were like people were memeing on it. Everyone was like talking about it forever because it was a huge deal.
Mr. Stark.
And like there was
so
and so it was so good to start off with that like that hurt like of like okay shit like we are still fucking knocked down in this world, like these guys have got a lot to These guys have got to rise.
Yes, before we go into the Thanos, like the killing Thanos part, there's one thing.
I did skip some things. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. There's just one thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this for long, but I didn't see Captain Marvel.
Me neither.
But when she was in the room with all the other heroes, and she was such a bitch. I hate her.
Oh, buddy, there's a way to word this that doesn't piss people off.
I'm not sure. No.
I know. But here's the thing. There's all these neckbeard dude bros who write like 45-minute video essays on like why Brie Larson's the worst or why she's like destroying the Disney shit, and that's what they say. But I agree that she was handled very poorly in this film.
I just think she
annoying.
She acted annoying and she acted arrogant to me.
Yes.
That's all it was.
It's not fun to watch that because it's fun to see everyone else play off of each other, but where she doesn't really do anything except like shit on everyone.
Yeah,
it's not very fun to watch.
That's why I didn't like her at all. Like she shows up, she's like, you have me, so we'll kill Thanos now.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that Thor moment, or the Thor, like where he pulls the Stormbreaker right past her face.
Yeah.
I liked that. I was like, oh, that's like that. She's pretty badass. And then I was like, what are they going to do now? And then she's like, oh, she's just mean and badass for the rest. Okay. That's
didn't
cool.
she leave and then she only came back for the final scene? Is that correct?
Yes, that is
See,
correct.
I feel like they should have either put her in more in a better way or not at all, because it's like,
I will take what we got because I didn't think they handled her well, so I wouldn't want to see more of her in this.
Yeah,
and I didn't
that's what I'm
think
saying,
that
they're
this
gonna
was her
change something.
story at all. Like it definitely shouldn't have been. I know she's the future of the MCU, but it's
That
definitely
is
not
true.
right now. My biggest concern with Captain Marvel was when she showed up. I couldn't help. I mean, the movie after Hawkeye opens with Stark and Nebula in space.
Yes.
Really cool scene. And it's all about, like, this movie is all about the whole journey, like the end and the beginning. And so it would make more sense from what I think would be like Stark found a way out of that cave and became Iron Man. Stark should find a way out of this situation and become something else. Mm-hmm. And then he doesn't, and she saves him, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it. I wish that he would have saved himself.
Yeah, I just don't think they handled her well. That's the only bad thing I have to say about the movie is I just don't like how they dealt with Captain Marvel. Everything else I liked. I don't have anything else bad to say past that.
Yeah.
I just the way she was dealt with was like you could have done better.
Yeah.
I don't know. She acted poorly, but
I
whatever.
agree. So Thanos gets beheaded
By Thor, which is pretty
awesome.
badass. Yeah,
he goes
cool.
for the head.
He went for the head. Yeah.
That was great.
That was a good joke. Good pun.
Dark,
but good.
Mm-hmm.
So then we skip 5 years later. We see everyone's just shitty.
It was like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in that thing.
Yeah,
but
like
they were like,
Scarlett's like dying. I thought at least one of them would have became. Well, I guess one of them does become an alcoholic. But I thought Tony would have like started drinking, or Natalie or Natasha or whatever, or Black Widow.
Tony came out pretty good. I mean, like
He did.
kind of where we left him. He's like, he was like, like surviving out in space with Nebula and everything. Comes back totally like damaged from that whole like that whole thing where he's like stranded out in space and everything. That little exchange between like him and Captain America was pretty intense. You know what I'm talking about?
was.
Right, when they first get back.
about the Civil War thing. That was the part I didn't get because of Civil War.
Well,
I
and
didn't see Civil War.
the winning
but-
part when he said that he wanted to build a suit of armor around the world. He says that in Age of Ultron because he's trying to create an AI using the stone that the Mind Stone that Vision has.
Yeah.
He tried to create Ultron in that, and then it went bad and like killed a lot of people and was very bad for the world. And then they made Vision, and so the suit. But what happened is they were fighting with each other on it. Like they were like Cap was really pissed at him for doing that. Half the team was pretty pissed at them for doing that. So it kind of started that fracture that really escalated in Civil War. So it kind of like felt like a big continuation of all that, of both Civil War and Age of Ultron. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good scene though. Like Robert Downey Jr. killed it in this movie.
Seriously.
He did.
Like he looked fucking malnourished in that scene. Like he looked like shit because he was out in space for like
CGI, or
I
did
think
he, like,
it
actually
was.
lose
No,
weight?
I don't think
Because
he
was
he
looking-
lost any weight.
He was looking pretty thin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think their budget for this movie was like $100 million or like $1 billion, I think, or something like. It was 100 million or I don't. Yeah, it was insane. So they can make anyone look like anything. Braden's gonna head out, so
Give me like half a second.
half a second. Okay, so he's gonna head out. Sean, we watched a recap of like the MCU before we went in.
Yeah.
And you were like, it was like the whole thing where Scott Lang was stuck in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh shit, I should have known that before, or like because you were just about to see it, and you're like, oh shit, I probably needed to know that. I was like, yeah, that's like really important to know.
That was in Ant-Man,
because that was Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was a fun little movie, but a lot of people skipped out on it because they're like, I don't want to see it, or I don't think it's important or whatever. And then that was like one of the big keys to like, you got your Pym particles, you got your time travel.
Biggest key to the whole plot besides like the Infinity Stone.
We were talking about how significant like Ant-Man was in this.
Yeah,
and so as someone, you didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
I did not.
So did you get like did you pick up kind of quickly on like why he was in space and or not really?
No, I just know he was in space, but he got back, and I was like, okay, he's back. I don't know where he was, but he's back. That's the point. Is that he's back. That's all that matters. Yeah.
And from like a literary standpoint, it's really cool to have somebody like a point of view character. Like that's always a good thing to have when you're writing in like a fictional world.
Yeah, where
like you have your Harry Potter who goes in and characters introduce the world to him, and so through that extension they teach it to the reader. Mm-hmm. And with this, he was that for us. Like he was like, okay, now they can explain what's going on and kind of like say what's up.
Yeah, because he was like, I went 5 years into the future in what was it? 5 hours?
He was like trapped in the quantum realm for 5 years, but it felt like 10 minutes to him or something.
Yeah, something like that, or 5 hours. Or
I thought
something.
he said 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah. 5
yeah,
hours.
And so that was great. Him showing up was really cool. Seeing like kind of how fucked up the world is. There's still like dogs waiting for people to come home.
Yeah,
like there's like help or like missing signs all over. Then there's those giant like statues. Like the memorials. Yeah, of like all the people. And like that's insane. I mean, logistically, I can't even imagine that being a thing. It can't be, right? Like,
well, I mean, I feel
if
like
half of everyone died,
no, there's no way you'd be able to track.
You couldn't get half of everyone's names on there. Even I guess
they would
have to be really small.
Yeah, like your family. I mean, like if like there's like any of your family left, like could like family and friends could like report like your names. They'd probably like.
Do you want to talk about the logistics of the snap real quick?
What do you mean? Yes.
Imagine like, okay, I don't know which one's fucked up. More fucked up. I thought about this the other day.
Okay.
If the snap happened and a pregnant lady was there, what would be more fucked up? If it snapped the baby out of existence, or if it snapped the mom out of existence? And if so, what would happen to the baby? Because then that would go into the logistics of what does Thanos identify as all life, and that would mean like I wonder if he'd be like a pro-lifer or something. Because dude, shit, I don't know. Okay, anyways, that's something I've been thinking about.
That's a weird bridge.
See, the baby turns into dust. 5 years later, baby comes back.
Whoa! Wait, it would still be a baby.
It would still be the same.
It would still, because they didn't age in there. They were like asleep, is what Spider-Man says in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the baby would still be the same age as it was.
But the mom would be 5 years later. What if the mom was like so torn up about it, she like got her tubes tied or something?
What if the mom? What if the mom
now
was?
She has a baby in her.
What if the mom was dead?
What if the mom was pregnant again?
She'd get a C-section.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh. I don't think that's. I think,
dude, there's some really weird logistics to this. I want to get to the bottom of.
Into it.
I think if he snaps, baby goes with mom. I think they're one and the same. I feel like that's it. I think that's how they would have to
until
do it.
born.
Until born.
But they wiped out like all the plants, all the animals, all living cells. Half of them got wiped out of existence.
Yes. I think I don't like what we're saying. Like there's a loophole there. A plot hole that we can't.
So what does Thanos legally define as living? Is it breathing and without?
Let's not get into that.
I guess it has to be an organism. Does that count like trees and shit? I mean, I didn't see like any like trees or anything disappear.
Yeah, I think they did. I want to say that it was all life, half of life on
the universe, yeah.
Which apparently doesn't work. Like if you snapped out of every. Okay, so essentially, like 30 years ago, our population was half of what it was now.
Oh, damn.
And so in 30 years, it doubled. And so
Yeah.
if you, I mean, on Earth, if you snap out half of the people, I mean, a lot of people might be really fucked up from it.
But we
But about 30 to 50 years later, there would be all the life that there was now.
Yeah.
And I guess we can get to Thanos' mantra later, but I don't know. In the last one, he was like the hero of it all. And
Thanos?
so, yeah, Thanos was it. And he was like doing everything that he can to save the universe. And in this one, you see that really bitter side of him where he's like, fuck this. Like, I'm just going to snap everything out of existence. Started all with a single molecule. I was like, okay.
I'll reduce it down to a single molecule and then create a new universe. This universe will be grateful for its life or something like that. Some fucked up shit.
It's like when your dad's really mad at you.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you come into my house. You say that to my wife, your mother. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Dad, are you all right? Dad?
I will crush your N64 into the dust.
And buy you a new one.
And apologize.
This time, you might be more grateful for what you have.
All right, so
Thanks, Dad.
Tony had a kid. That was cool.
Yeah.
He had a little baby girl.
She was cute.
You want to say
She
the
was
line?
cute.
Who wants to say the line?
Oh, you can say the line, buddy.
I love you 3000.
Oh,
Wasn't that?
well, that line didn't do it for me. Actually, I know that it's a big deal to like everyone right now, but I was like, oh, that's what kids say. That's what I said. Like I would say that. I was like, oh yeah.
I know, it's just the fact that Tony says it. And
I
he
know
dies.
that was cute. He was really cute.
And like, okay, I don't want to jump to the end too far, but when he said, like, in the end when he has the hologram thing, and he looks straight at his daughter.
He said, I love you 3000.
Yeah, and it's like, damn. Bro.
How did he
Like,
plan that out?
I don't know.
He's like, in the event of my death, you all sit in this order.
Since all that matters is you,
Right
daughter.
there.
You're right. You're here, right there.
Maybe that's like that was like the first 30 seconds of the video. When he turned on, he's like giving like instructions to everything. He's like, all right, Happy, I need you to sit there. Pepper, there.
Uh-huh.
See, well, maybe like his technology just like animates his body. Like he basically just has to like record his voice, and the technology
It's just
like, animate-
AI
Yeah,
things?
it's just AI is like the rest of like his body, his motions, and stuff like that.
There is a
That is
theory
possible.
that is what's going to happen because there was in some comic arcs after he dies or disappears, he's backed into an AI. So I mean, you could have him as like a little like you can have him in a
Little
Spider-Man
robot.
suit or something,
He's
or a little robot.
So he's like Cortana.
Hey Cortana,
No,
Here comes
Cortana.
the new Jarvis.
as in Halo.
Cortana, load Minecraft.
As in Halo, like Halo Cortana, like you could pack around Tony
No,
Stark.
like the Microsoft Windows search engine.
Oh, that too. We don't talk about her.
Like, yo, Iron Man, put lettuce on my grocery list. It's taco night.
It's Taco Night.
There's a funny scene with tacos.
I don't remember it.
Remember?
Yeah, ship lands.
Scott Lang is eating a taco.
Oh, yeah.
Ship lands, falls over. Professor Hulk, which we'll talk about now,
Yeah.
hands him two of his tacos. What did you guys think of Professor Hulk?
I loved him.
I
loved
him.
him so much.
That was so fun. That was like the funnest we've ever seen Hulk.
I know I always want more from Hulk in the other movies, but
Yeah.
this one I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like that. I
Like,
like
Yeah.
it.
Who doesn't love Hulk?
Like Ragnarok was funny, but he was still kind of just like a meathead. Like he was still like, this is
He's
funny.
Hulk.
This is funny because he has other people to play off, which is amazing.
Mhm.
And then in Infinity War, it was kind of annoying every time he was on screen because he like had like Hulk dysfunction or something.
Yeah,
Because he would like try to go Hulk and then he would just get stuck and it wouldn't work.
tile dysfunction.
Yeah, and so it was really cool to see that that side of Hulk, and that was really fun. I guess we should keep moving. But what did you guys think of very, very big, very liquored up, very big Lebowski'd Thor?
Oh yeah, Fat Thor. That
was so fucking funny, dude.
That was the biggest curveball though. All the marketing and everything shows like short-haired, fucking like badass looking Thor.
Just hot Thor.
Hot Thor. Then he chops off Thanos' head. 5 years later, they find him on New Asgard, and
He's just.
he only comes out
They're
for
playing
supply.
fucking Fortnite. That was weird as shit.
Okay, that was weird. I was like,
I felt
seriously?
like that was almost meta self-aware of like, this is how much of a fucking loser he is. Do you know what I mean? Like he's the lowest of the
He's
low right
playing
now.
Fortnite, and he was talking
5
shit.
years later.
He was like, "I'll come." Like, what did he
Noob
say?
Master 69, it's Thor.
Thor.
I will come to your parents' house and smash in your basement.
Rip off your arms and shove them up your butt. That's right, you go and cry to your parents.
And Korg was like, thanks, Thor.
Thanks, though.
Thanks, Thor.
Yeah, if he ever bothers you again, just tell me.
Yeah.
He just kicks back.
I
He's just
see.
chilling.
I liked Drunk Thor for a minute, and then I was like, he kind of overstayed his welcome. Drunk Thor. I thought Drunk
I
Thor.
disagree.
Was
No,
gonna go away.
I do disagree with that. But when he goes, we already established that there's time travel in this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, when he goes
We're in
back,
spoilers, so yeah.
yeah, when he goes back in time to Asgard, meets his mother and everything,
Yeah.
and then like reaches his hand out to like see if like the hammer will come,
Uh-huh.
and then like the hammer like comes to him and everything, and like he's like, oh, I'm still worthy. Like that was my favorite part. In the
Yeah,
movie.
I don't even think he
That was,
said like I'm still worthy, did he? I thought he like it was just like his expression, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, he didn't think that he was worthy of his hammer anymore. He thought that he'd fallen so far, but really he was
Yeah.
like the only part where I thought it was a little annoying was when him and Rocket are trying to go in and like get the soul stone or the adder from his girlfriend at the
Yeah.
time, and like he keeps like walking away to like go get liquor. I felt like that scene went on for like 3 minutes, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
this is done. Like I'm done. I've seen this before. I've done this before. This is like I don't care about
Yeah,
this.
I feel like just towards the end, for me at least, I was like, okay, like do something to get like normal Thor at least closer back to normal
But then
Thor.
they
like,
definitely
Dude,
did
then
though.
he turned into like brute Thor.
Like fucking
In
Norse
the end
god
battle.
Thor.
That
Yeah.
was
Which
sick.
was awesome. But what did you guys think of Murderer Evil Hawkeye?
Oh shit!
I thought that was cool.
It was brief.
Remember? It was brief,
cool.
but he was like, ever since his family died, he went crazy and then just started like killing like everyone.
that was cool.
That was
Became
really
an
cool.
That
That
was
long, that
sweet.
long take of him chasing these people down and killing them all.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
Okay, yeah,
I wish
that
there was. I
very
wish there was a
cool.
little more torment with that because I mean, you see him do that, then the rest of the film he just kind of goes back, like
Back
it's
to
kind of
normal.
brushed under the rug.
Yeah.
I mean, like it, but I mean, I'll like in that movie there was so much like character development and everything that
You kind of got to take, like, you got to take what you get.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
That was a really cool scene. That was one of my favorites, to be honest. That was really
And
cool.
I thought that was a really nice,
Just where
very
he's in
effective
Japan.
scene when he tested to go back in time and is like seeing his family and he's just barely there and then it's
Shit,
gone.
and then he's pulled
Yeah.
back.
And then he's like, I think that's maybe the big change probably in him was he was pretty sadistic because I think he volunteered to do that. Like if he died, who gives a shit? But like I think it was kind of like a that was like his turning point of like, okay, this can happen. I've been so close to my family.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this can be done.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that like changed his spirits and being with his friends, like of like the glory days, like being with Natasha and everything, probably like kind of changed his spirits. So
kinda-
there is a bit of a whiplash between like who he is
Yeah.
in the second part of the movie versus the first.
It's kind of the turning point for like everybody too. Like that's when like they realize
Yeah.
that it is
Like this is possible.
Yeah.
And like the line of like whatever it takes. I thought that was so great. And that suit up scene where they're all wearing those like white and red quantum suits.
Those are cool.
Those look so sick.
Those were pretty
Those
cool.
look so good. And then like just that shot of them like all putting their hands together and then falling through the floor. That was so cool. Like them flying through time or like through time stuff. I thought was so cheesy in Doctor Who. I was like, I love this. Like this is so much fun to watch.
Oh,
It was just awesome. Like that was awesome. And then it's like Avengers or like New York 2012 and like you see like the color grading change, like it looks like how the first Avengers movie did, and then like you start to realize like, okay, shit, this is what's happening, like because they're talking about their plan, and then you see it, and it's like, oh my god, and so then it gives it like I called it like when I first saw it, I was like, this is a victory lap, because then it's like, hey, do you guys remember like this cool shit? Like we're gonna do it again, we're gonna do it differently, we're gonna do it like
Better.
the way that we're gonna do it now,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have the chance of like reconnecting everything. So I think that was really cool. But yeah. So the victory lap.
I thought when they went back in time to 2012, when they were there, I thought everything that went on there was like very well done. Like how
that was
like how Captain America saw Captain America, and he was like, "You're Loki," because
that's
was
what he
like,
would assume. That's
Exactly.
what 2012
like
Cap
that.
would
That
assume.
was cool. And then also Captain America got the stone or the stone because he said, what did he say?
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, because he
Which
gets
it
into
just-
the elevator, and it's just like the Winter Soldier. It's framed exactly, shot the same way, and it's like, oh shit, he's gonna have to fight him again. I mean, this will be cool. And then just like, hey, I'm taking point on this one. Hail Hydra, and he just walks out, and was like, this is awesome.
I know.
That was such a reward for people who like knew that movie, and they're like, oh my god,
like he didn't have to. It was
Bray,
just cool.
Do you think that's America's ass?
Debatable.
Debatable.
That is America's.
I would say
Debatable.
Professor Hulk has America's ass. Oh yeah, Hulk dabbed. He
Huh?
hit the dab.
Wait,
When?
You guys don't remember that?
No.
In the cafe, he's eating all these eggs.
Oh, okay,
And the
yeah, I
kids
remember
come up,
that.
and he's like, "Hey, stay in school," and then he like dabbed her. He said something.
I do remember
He's
that.
like,
now.
hey, you want a picture with Ant-Man?
I'm like,
No.
just take the goddamn phone.
That was a good scene as well.
Yeah, that was
Want a
great.
picture with Ant-Man?
And then I liked that thing. I thought they were ready to kill off like 2012 Iron Man. I was like, all right, let's just stop his heart. Just fucking kill him.
yeah.
It's the only way. Whatever it takes. Because essentially they established that like if you go back in time, I think it like takes you to a different dimension.
Alternate,
Or an
it's a
alternate
alternate
reality?
timeline.
They said
Yeah.
that it can't affect the future.
Right, so
If
the whole
you go
reason
back
you
in
can't go
time.
back in time, and they did a wonderful job, because anytime you open up time travel, it's a can of worms that like cannot be undone. Then it's
Yeah.
like, oh well, if they could go back in time, why don't they just go all the way
Why
back in
didn't they
time,
do
kill
this?
Thanos as a baby? So I love that the immediate response is like, why don't we kill him as a baby? And they're
Yeah.
like,
First
dude,
off-
what the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
And then they
Professor
explain
Hulk.
it. Yeah, they explain.
What
Him
did
and
he
Nebula
say?
explain that if you go back in time and change something, the timeline you return to isn't different. Like it's still the same one that you returned to.
because you went back
you went
in
back
time.
and changed, and it split and created a different
Yes.
timeline.
So
essentially.
even if you killed baby Thanos,
It would
if
just
you,
create an
when
al-
you go
it would
back
just
to
create
your
an
normal
alternate reality.
timeline, it's still the same because the timeline where you killed baby Thanos is somewhere else.
Yes.
and then the ancient one, Tilda Swinton from Doctor Strange's movie showed up, which was awesome. I did not know she was in this, and she shows up and establishes that like, yeah, you can take these stones, but you essentially have to return them a second later. Otherwise, it'll like tear a hole in each dimension that you go to, like each world that you take it from, each universe that you take it from, which was really weird and really cool. So that was great to see that. Loki escaped. I don't know if you guys know this, but Disney Plus had announced that he was having his own live action TV show. And so it'll be him. It'll probably be, they announced this a couple months ago, and everyone's like, oh, he died. Is like in the past. And then it was rumored that he was going to be like traveling through space, like having effect on like effect on things across space or like throughout maybe even time. And so it sounds like that's what they're trying to set up. Like,
Wait,
'cause
Loki died?
Loki died in the last one, remember? In Endgame or Infinity War, he got his neck crushed by Thanos. The very beginning scene.
Oh yeah, I see. I thought they were going to bring him back somehow. I guess that never left my mind.
Right.
That was
They
always
kind
like,
of
oh,
did.
they'll
'Cause
bring
in
it
that
back.
universe, he just grabbed you remember when they went back in time, he grabbed the Tesseract and disappeared. Because that's the
Yeah.
Space Stone. And so then he dipped, and that was cool. So that's probably setting up his TV show he'll have.
I'm
Which
sure
sounds
that's
fun.
what it
Which
is.
is like, he's funny as shit. And then... So then they screw up that one. So then Tony and Cap have to go back in time even more.
Yes.
And they go to like the military camp and
Yeah, that was sad.
yeah, and then his waifu is there. His World War II waifu is there.
Yep.
And Tony's dad.
And Tony's dad
That
was
was
there. That was
awesome.
amazing.
That was way cool.
That was amazing.
That was great.
That was like such a lovely scene that I just had no idea was coming.
That was also one of my favorite parts. I think
Uh-huh.
actually that was my favorite scene altogether was Tony talking to his dad.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it was awesome. It was like a
Yeah.
really genuine moment, and it was really awesome. And I loved I fucking loved that. I did read a theory that because and this wouldn't necessarily make sense with how the time travel was established, but essentially what could have happened was Tony convinced his dad to leave Hydra because he was probably part of it since he was high up in S.H.I.E.L.D., like making secret weapons. He leaves. Because he leaves, Hydra sends out the Winter Soldier to kill him, and that's why his dad died. Now, that wouldn't necessarily make sense because if you go back in time, it affects a different universe.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't really be it, but that's cool. Like that's an interesting concept. But then Rocket and Thor went to Asgard, which I thought that was a really sweet moment between his mom. I didn't see that coming. I thought it would have been with his dad, but I feel like Ragnarok was about his dad, and this one was about his mom, which I thought was cool. And seeing Rocket is always cool. I love Rocket.
Rocket's good.
Rocket's great, dude. I can't believe that we're getting like movies are at this point now, and we just watched a video kind of talking about it, where it's like this talking raccoon talking to a superhero Norse god is normal.
Also, can I point out
weird.
that Thor is going to be in the next Guardians?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's going to be
that
way
goes hard
weird.
as fuck, dude.
They're probably gonna
does.
slim him down though.
I hope they don't. I don't think they will.
Ooh,
I don't think they will, man. I don't think
I
so.
don't know. That was weird.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Like when they finished the movie and he was still there, I was like, "What the hell? What?
Yeah.
Really?
what are they gonna do with this guy?
See if they keep like the big like bushy beard though, like all like braided and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty
gonna
funny.
be sick.
Yeah, that'll be sick. I'm excited to see what James Gunn will do with him. So,
Yeah.
but then Nebula and War Machine went to Morag to get the Power Stone that Peter Quill gets in the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
1.
it's something bad. That's when the bad Nebula came
that's
back.
when they start to link their interface because they're both in one universe and it like shares their network mind or something. So then Thanos, now 2014 Thanos has an idea that
I really
there's
thought
trouble among.
I really thought Nebula was going to screw up everything.
She kind of did.
Actually, she actually kind of
Not
did.
intentionally, of course. It wasn't her fault, but she was the cause of Thanos coming through time and ripping a hole in everything.
And this is just like a side note for me because I didn't think Nebula was an important character in the whole series in general because I saw like one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So like I knew who she was, but I was just like, whatever.
Right.
But I was like, damn, this girl that really doesn't matter a lot, to me at least, is really about to screw everything up.
Yeah.
That's like how I felt at least. It was all like fixed, so it was good.
Yeah, yeah. And so that was really cool. I loved seeing Quill dance around. Like he's dancing right at the beginning when he's going in.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because that's like the famous opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy where I was like, holy shit, this is something different. And it was really cool and like flashy and sexy. And then in this one, he's like, you don't hear his music really. Like you hear
it, but
him like singing like, coming is ya. And he's like just stomping around and it's like goofy as hell. And it's like, yeah, that's what it really is. That's awesome. And then Nebula, they get like switched around after that because whatever. And then Hawkeye and Black Widow go get the Soul Stone. And they have a race, which I think is I kind of laughed at first when they're like both like, because he says it requires a sacrifice to get the Soul Stone. And so then they both try to kill themselves, but you're supposed to sacrifice like the thing you love most.
Yeah.
So I feel like jumping off the edge shouldn't have necessarily
that part
done it.
really confused me because I was like,
That doesn't make sense.
I was like, are they in love? Like I thought Hawkeye was married and their whole family died. That's why I didn't get that part.
Right.
Maybe
So
it's
they
like a brotherly sister type
Right,
of
they've
love.
always been like best friends, and they thought, and like people speculated that they were together until Age of Ultron, and then he was like, "Yeah, I have a family," and they're like, "Oh, hey, Nat," and like they know each other, and so like, but yeah, it was really weird to see that. Like,
So wait, are they
'cause-
brother and
no,
sister?
they're like best friends.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
They're just best friends, man.
Couple of besties.
Couple of besties. But I thought it was so funny. She just starts sprinting for it, and he pulls out an explosive arrow, shoots right in front of her, and launches her. It's like, if that launched her over the edge, that would have worked. But like,
yeah.
I was like, this girl is human. I want you two to know that you guys are the human ones. and then eventually, like it comes down to them both trying to throw themselves off and stopping the other, and then he has to let go of her, and she
What if
falls
they-
to her death.
What if they both fell? Like then what?
Whichever one hits the ground first? Is that sacrifice? Like I don't
I think they
know.
would both die, wouldn't they?
I don't know. That's a little messy, but like that's one of those things where it's like I'll suspend my disbelief because like this movie has all this other shit going on, like that I just like who cares? Like who gives a shit if like this is
Yeah.
kind of weird or goofy? But I like that. I thought that was a powerful scene because then right as it ends, they come back, they land on the pad, they're all there, they're like happy, and then Hawkeye's like mourning, and he's like, she didn't come back. Like, where's Nat? And then there's like about a
that part was sad.
5-minute downtime where they're like kind of recuperating from that, and then Hulk snaps everyone back to existence. I thought that was cool.
Yep.
because that's what happens next.
Oh yeah.
Hulk snaps.
Hulk.
Brings the people back. I loved the subtle way. I'm really glad they didn't do like people just like spawning in, or like people just like coming back to life or something. Like I loved how like minimal it was, because it worked, because he starts getting a phone call from his wife, like Hawkeye, and he looks over at his phone, because it's like that's what would happen if like that's what would happen.
Yeah,
you'd get a phone call, your phone would blow up.
And those people that disappeared, it's not like
they didn't know they were gone for 5 years.
Know.
They come home and they're like, "What the fuck? Where'd everyone go?
Yeah,
honey, you coming home? It's dinner." Like, yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And then immediately after they do that, they like walk outside, and Ant-Man gets like a missile to the face.
Yeah, yeah. I thought they just straight up killed him.
Yeah, I thought they did.
They just blasted him into smithereens,
and they like made sure you knew about it, because the missile lands like 10 feet in front of him.
He's like looking at the tree. There's like a little more birds there than there were before, and he's like, "Guys, I think it worked."
Yeah, because Nebula pushes some button somehow, and it brings back Thanos through some way. I don't even care how. I don't even care how, but it was awesome because he shows up, just fucks up their shit.
Yeah,
and then and then like everyone's trying to get up, and then essentially it comes down to Thanos is just like chilling, like sitting down with his giant double sword, and then Thor, Cap, and Iron Man walk out, and they're like, "What's he doing?" He's like, "He's just sitting there." And then they like walk out, and then like Thor pulls both of his hammers in, and he like turns into like this Norse electric god.
Yeah,
that was
like
cool. I was like, okay, this is fucking awesome. And then like they have this fight, and they're fighting with him, and it's just so badass. And the moment where Thor's about to get stabbed by his own axe, Mjolnir hits Thanos, and it pulls into Captain America's hands.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a cooler moment? That was literally the coolest thing I've ever seen on screen.
That was probably my second favorite part.
What was your first?
The Tony Stark and talking to his dad.
Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah. No, I thought that moment, he just
when Captain
pulls
America
it right back, and you're like,
it,
Jesus fucking Christ! Like that was so sick.
Shit. That was pretty cool. Me and Sean were freaking out when that happened.
Oh, my whole theater, like my theater was Thursday night, so it was like brand
Opening
new. It was
night.
the shit. And everyone was losing their mind. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love audience engagement when it's a movie like that, when it's a full theater.
Okay. Can I talk about audience engagement really quick?
Yeah.
People kept clapping in that movie.
No, dude, there was the farting chairs too.
The chairs were bad. They would always squeak, and they sounded like people were farting.
They were like old ladies who couldn't hold their bladders, and they kept on having to get up. There was
all the
one
time.
old lady who kept on getting up, and every time she had to get up, like the chair was just like.
And like, but it's like people were clapping in the middle of the movie, and it was like it made me like it was like the most white person thing.
It's like it's like the version of like clapping when you land in a plane.
It's that, but like dimmed down a little bit. You know,
See, if it was like opening night, then like the hype would be like in everybody. But like when it's like when it's like already been like a few days, you know, like a lot of people have already seen it. I feel like then when you're clapping, that's when it kind of gets a little weird.
It was just weird because
You know,
the claps weren't even like when Captain America gets the hammer. You know, I get it. Where you're like, yes, that's cool. But people were just like,
they weren't audibly gasp. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but they like no one was saying anything. They were just.
I think I just said like shit. Like it was like a good golf play. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just weird.
Oh, very good.
But yeah, audience engagement's cool as long as it's not like
too. There's a right way to do it.
Yeah.
There's a very fine line on what's
I was
cool.
freaking out of that part. Me and Sean were both freaking out.
I was losing it. That was amazing. And then what happened? Oh yeah, so they almost get fucked, and then Cap, Falcon is like on your left, and then all of a sudden like those Strange opens up all those portals, and everyone shows up. That was insane.
I don't know how that happened.
So he had snapped everyone back to existence.
Strange was like,
and Strange knew what was going to happen because remember he saw like
saw
14 million somewhat timelines.
Exactly.
So he knew what he was supposed to do in this one that he won. This is the one that they were going to win, and so he knew what he had to do. So he did the stupid portal thingy, brought everyone back, because they were already alive at that point. They'd already been snapped back by Hulk, but that was bringing them into that space of there.
Yeah.
And so then they all show up. Everyone is fucking there.
Okay, that was a cool
which
fight.
was amazing.
This was the last hour-ish where everything was like going down.
This is that. Yes. I mean, that is amazing. That is the coolest thing in the world. That has never happened, and that will never not happen again. Like we're living in a world where this has already happened, and anything else, it'll be kind of like an Endgame. But it's like, no, this is the first time that this has happened, and that's insane. Like essentially what it can be described like is like in Ready Player One, where the whole third act, Sean, you've seen it, is like it's kind of like Endgame. Like all these cool people show up, and you're like, oh, I know them. Yeah. This one, it's like, no, I know these people because I've seen like 4 movies with each of them, and I fucking love all of them, and it's delivering on every single one of them. Oh yeah, and I was like, it's insane. It's amazing.
That last part was a cool fight. Also, there was a little scene where all the women stood up. That was kind of cool.
Oh man.
What it started off with, Captain Marvel flies right through Thanos' ship, decimates it,
easily,
and then Peter's trying to get the gauntlet to the thing so they can send it back in time. Yeah, they're trying to get it back to the van because their time travel machine got exploded by Thanos.
Exactly,
and his ship. And so there's this cool moment, like Spider-Man's flying through. He's like activating insta kill, where it's like stabbing everyone, which was awesome. And and then all the girls, like Captain Marvel grabs the gauntlet, and then all the girls come in and help. And that was the big A-Force moment.
That was pretty cool.
What did you think? Did you like it? That was Sean's first thing that he mentioned. He said, I love that movie, but I hated that part where all the girls showed up.
You didn't like that part at all?
And like when you word it that way, like, you know, I mean, it's still true, but like it's not because like, you know, it was because it was the girls. Like I want to see like that kind of stuff. Like I want to see like that A-Force type stuff, you know, like where like, you know, like all the girls are getting together and getting shit done. I want to see that. But like with Captain Marvel, like Braden already put it, you know, like in his own way that like she was just like really arrogant, like really mean and everything. She didn't have a connection to any of the other Avengers. And then again, she just was not in the movie at all. She came
showed up,
helped kill Thanos, and then just came in, you know, kind of at her own, you know, at her own
whim.
Yeah, she kind of did what she wanted, and it wasn't as impactful because it wasn't really her story to be telling, like to be doing this.
Go on,
like
Sean.
It just, I don't know. It seemed like pandering, which I mean, like people want that type of representation. I want to see that type of representation, like women in film. That's amazing, but it was just done so like fan servicey.
Yeah, it felt kind of forced.
Like it was very forced, I think. Like,
right, and to do something like that, you need to force it. Like there's no situation in which you can make that necessarily happen organically.
I mean, except for that video that we watched. Where
right. But there's no reason realistically from a storytelling point, unless Thanos did something that affected just men, that there would ever be a reason why only the women would fight at one point.
Yeah,
so you have to force it somehow. Like you just have to. And it's I fucking love it. I think it's awesome. I really hated it when I first watched it. I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying because it for me, there was a shot I think where they were trading off the gauntlet where it was like somewhat of a long, continuous, flowing shot of going Avenger to Avenger, and I was like, all right, this is cool. Like that, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to see everyone. I love it. Yeah. And then you see all the women, and it focuses, and it's like, oh, it's just the women, but it's like one of those things where it's like I think it was needed, and I love it, and I'm glad that it was there. But I can't like realistically come up with a reason why in the story of the in the universe why that would ever happen. Yeah. Like why isn't War Machine flying by? Like what are they all doing that just the females have to come out? But I fucking still love that scene. I totally get where you're coming from.
It was a little forced. Like we get that, but it was cool.
Ryan and I, we watched this video. I mean, it was a video that Ryan showed me, and it was like an alternate take on that in which it wasn't Captain Marvel who carried the gauntlet all the way there, but it was Nebula. Like Nebula, the blue daughter of Thanos, not the green one.
So the one that he has abused for years and brainwashed and belittled and just hated for so long, her one job was to be able to get the stones for Thanos. what she ends up doing because it's through the power of like what she's learned through these movies and her friends and everything like that, and how much she's changed, that she's the one to carry the gauntlet to the end, and that she's the one to stand against Thanos, because like at the end of the day, like the ones who have the biggest beef with Thanos should probably be like Iron Man and Nebula, or Nebula and Iron Man.
Why
And
Iron Man?
I don't know, because Iron Man's our favorite. I mean, I guess Thor has probably the most claim because he killed his brother and half of his people, but I mean, Iron Man's our main guy.
I guess but Nebula was like the most like personally affected by Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not just by the
so in
snap,
that video, was
but,
it just
like,
Nebula was
physically,
switched?
like emotionally,
Essentially,
abused throughout
yeah.
her life.
So essentially, in that
I get
movie,
that.
he does these rewrites of films. So his channel is called Nando V Movies. Check him out. He does these rewrites of things like, so how can I change something little that changes the story completely? And so he did that for this, and it was all about like the girls in that scene. So yeah, what's up? Are we just gonna end it or?
I mean, I gotta go.
Yeah, we can. Me and Ryan can finish up the last
Yeah,
like
that's cool with me.
2 or 3 minutes. Like we won't be too much longer.
Well, guys, I gotta go. It's been great. Endgame was awesome. I give it a 8.7 out of 10.
We'll wait for ours, Ryan.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
Peace out, dude.
Bye, Sean. We'll miss you.
I'll miss you.
Sean has to step
This
out.
has never
He has some
happened.
things to do. This has never happened. It's been a year and something too. That's kind of.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have way more than 2 minutes of things to say, and I don't want to talk about this movie in another episode.
Yeah,
We're gonna unload.
we will.
We still have so much to discuss, man.
Do we actually?
We kind of do.
I don't know. It's the last hour. I guess a lot. Okay,
Trust me, dude.
Send it.
Trust me.
No,
All right.
dump it.
So,
on me.
okay, we get that. Okay, so then Tony gets the gauntlet, right?
Yeah,
He makes his own gauntlet.
Yeah,
and
in the suit.
and then I am Iron Man. That is so cool.
Yep. What he said? I am Thanos. He says,
Or he says,
Iron
I'm
Man.
inevitable.
I am inevitable. I am Iron Man. He snaps.
He says, basically, I am monkey. And then he
That's what I
snaps.
said.
He snaps, and then he turns into a giant monkey, and they're like, shit. Mega Kong.
So he
Kong
snaps.
Thanos.
Did he just kill Thanos? Or
So
what did he
with
do?
Tony's snap, he wiped out all of Thanos' bad guys.
Yes.
And I don't believe that counts as wiping out Gamora. I don't think that killed Gamora, because I know Gamora there is missing at the end, and they're looking for her in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that means that he snapped her out of existence, if he sent her back to her timeline, if she's alive still, and he just snapped out Thanos and all of his goons.
Yeah.
I don't know the logistics of that. I'm sure we'll
So
figure that
Gamora
out.
could still very well be alive.
I guarantee Gamora's alive, because
Okay.
I don't think James Gunn would do the movie without everyone I don't think he would do it.
Yeah.
But I believe she is still alive, and they're going to be looking for her, because in the end, Quills has something on a map.
think-
It's like searching, and it's a picture of Gamora.
Yeah, so do you think next Guardians is going to be them searching for Gamora?
Absolutely, and Thor will be there because he renewed his contract for 2 movies, which is
cool.
sick. So
That's
who
cool.
knows?
Okay.
But that's sick. Tony fucking got fried like a shrimp because of that.
Why did it kill him?
So the Infinity Gauntlet, to wield even one Infinity Stone can kill a person.
Yeah.
And so in holding all 6 of them, like it almost killed Hulk, like it messed up his arm, and he's like the strongest dude ever.
Yeah.
And then there's no real reason why Iron Man should have been able to hold it. Like he should have died instantly. Like the second he put it on, he shouldn't have been able to say like I am Iron Man, because the second that Banner puts on the gauntlet, he immediately starts like dying. But I don't know.
Maybe something.
Just
with the
well, like
suit,
who
I
cares?
don't
It's
know.
one of those things where it's like it was so awesome and well earned and and amazing and just perfect. Like who cares? Like why
It's
nitpick it?
It's just such a goosebumps moment.
Yeah, oh
You're
my
like,
God.
damn, you know.
I couldn't believe, and just how that whole third act looked. Like it
Yes.
looked like no other movie that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It was
crazy.
amazing.
It was really, that part was like tear jerking, well earned.
Mhm.
It was great.
And then
I loved that.
as he's dying, like Spider-Man shows up and he's like, "We won, Mr. Stark," and I was like,
Oh,
"Shit, that
no.
fucking hurt." and then at the beginning of the movie, Pepper Potts says, if you don't do it, will you ever be able to rest?" And then finally she's like, "You can rest now." And she keeps it together. And then as soon as he dies, that's when she lets herself cry. That is heartbreaking.
No,
That's
yeah, that
crazy.
hurts.
And she's like,
'Cause
you
Iron-
did it. You saved it. Like you can rest now.
It's just like he started the series and now he
Uh-huh.
finishes it
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And like the thing about did they just want to finish the Iron Man series? Is that why they killed him?
I mean, one, it was costing him like, I think they paid him like $150 million to be in this movie. So it cost him a lot of money for them to get Robert Downey Jr. now that he's so big and he's Iron Man.
Yeah, you have to have him.
I mean, he asks for $100 million. They say, well, shit, we can't not have him in our Avengers movie. So yeah, here's $100 million. So I mean, they killed him off, and I think it was a perfect end to his saga. But I know that he loves playing Iron Man so much.
Does he?
And that like, oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. loves it, and he's always loved it. And I know that I read an interview last night with like the Whedons, or not the Whedons, God fuck, the Russos, and they were talking about how Robert Downey Jr. when they first pitched it, the like what they were gonna do, he was like really vocally against it, and he was like really against like dying. He was really against saying I am Iron Man. Like he was against it. He wanted to keep doing it, which I think is really sad.
So-
like he wanted to keep doing these Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
I
then
mean,
why was he
part of
asking
it is
for
the
so much
paycheck?
money?
But huh?
Why was he asking for so much money then? He could
Well,
have
I mean,
asked for less and
realistically,
kept
like,
doing it.
Right, and they could have, but at this point they were probably like, "Hey, we
It's
should
time.
probably work them out." And like, we want to move. We also want this to be. We want this to be the final chapter, but we also want it to open up like new doors. And I think that
Yeah.
sort of did perfectly. I think it absolutely did.
It sucks that he died, but it was well done. I was happy with it.
And realistically, I mean, now that we have opened up a can of worms that's known as time travel and interdimensional parallel universes,
Great.
you could bring back anyone if you want. There's a number of things you could do. Tony could have, when he snapped Thanos' out, he could have said, I also want to have a copy of me in this universe. And then there's a copy of him walking around.
That
They could go back in
is
time, grab a
true.
different version of him.
Yeah,
They can do like a million different things. He could be offloaded to like a robot, to be like an AI.
with a human like Tony Stark wielding the Infinity Stones and snapping. He could have done anything.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't like that actually.
I mean, it's not like definitive, like, yeah, he's definitely coming back.
Yeah.
Saying that they could leave the door open for like a cameo in the future somehow.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. So, and then there's the funeral where it was like that long take starting at the lake.
Yeah.
And then went all the way up.
All the way up.
Showing
with
like everyone,
all the heroes.
all the heroes, just super
That was cool.
sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
And like they send him off on the lake.
I
His
thought that
wife
was
did.
good.
And then he
And
talked, like the hologram. We talked about that. His
Love You
hologram.
3000.
Love You 3000. It was
Very
sad.
sweet.
Very tender, very warm.
And then there's a couple more things. That and then the cap scene. So then they send
The cap scene is good.
now they built a little time travel machine so they could send Cap back in time so that he could restore. He could add all those Infinity Stones back to those specific times,
Back to
like
where
an
they were
instant,
supposed to be.
as an instant after they took him in the first place.
Yeah, so he'd be back within 5 seconds.
And he was supposed to come right back to the pad, and then he didn't. And they're like, "Where is he? Where is he?"
I knew it right when he was going. He like volunteered to do it. I was like, he's gonna go back to his lover in World War II.
Yeah, because that was like set up, like the 70s flashback. That was set up where it's like, oh yeah, she's still like a big deal on this. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
So he went back.
I don't know if you know this, but he dated that girl's daughter, or niece, excuse me, Sharon Carter, in
in real life.
in Winter Soldier. No, in one of the other movies.
Oh, what the heck? Why? That's weird.
I don't know.
So he's
He
dating.
was like, "Hey, I know your aunt," and they're like, "Yeah, we should date."
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Ew.
So I don't know if you knew that.
It's kind of odd.
It is a little taboo.
Yeah, a little.
Pure taboo. And so that was cool. So then it turns out, and then you see this old Captain America sitting on a bench.
I liked it.
I liked it too. He gives
the shield
Uh-huh.
to Sam, aka Falcon.
Uh-huh.
I don't know him very well.
No, yeah, he's not at the
He's not-
forefront most of the time.
He's not a big deal, is he?
No, but
He
in
is
the
now.
comics, so both Bucky and not Hawkeye, excuse me, Falcon have taken up the mantle of Captain America before.
Uh-huh.
So it's either going to be one of them, and I think they'll do some other cool things with Sebastian Stan with Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
So
cool. I like
now-
that. I like seeing that a lot.
So now Falcon is Captain America.
He's going to be the new Cap. I bet he'll still have like a wingsuit or something cool. I don't know what they'll do with him. That's cool though.
Yeah.
That gets me really excited. And then I
that
just
part was
loved
very
it.
cool.
I loved that this stupid, big, gigantic corporate blockbuster movie ended on this intimate, just like you float into this small little house and you just see two like people embracing each other and dancing, and that was like Captain America in the past, and then the movie ends.
Yeah.
That was a perfect ending.
That was a great ending. It's just saying like, hey, everything's okay now. The Cap got what he wanted.
Yeah.
He spent his life with his wife,
Uh-huh.
and then it was this cool like they were like, oh, where'd he go? And then they look over, he's on the bench, and he's like, hey, like, I know what I had to do, so I went back and did it,
Yeah.
which was cool.
Yeah, that was way cool. Did you know that we still have more stuff on our keep to talk about?
Oh, that's a lot. What else
It
do
is
we got?
a little bit.
Okay, so that is Endgame, right? So that's the whole movie. We've discussed it. We have some other questions we'll talk about. First thing I want to say is that Ant-Man, remember when Iron Man and Captain America were inside the building? Ant-Man crawls inside Tony Stark to make him,
Have like a heart attack?
have a heart attack,
Yeah.
yes. So Ant-Man went small enough to crawl inside Tony Stark. In theory, Ant-Man could have crawled inside Thanos' asshole.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have.
Because
that's dumb.
You don't know that.
That's a dumb plan.
You don't know that.
The ear is much more accessible and would do a lot more damage. But it's not about being effective. It's about sending a message.
Exactly.
And I think that would definitely be a power play.
It would.
Even like if it didn't hurt him at all, like if it just killed Ant-Man immediately, like that would be such like these heroes are going to do whatever it takes to murder you, Thanos. This dude just killed himself in your ass. That's crazy. That was my favorite part.
That was kind of, I don't know. When he did it, I was like, oh shit. Like,
Here's the thing. Like 2 weeks ago, right after I saw this movie, I was like, you know what? I'm pretty good on watching a superhero movie. I don't really want to see a big, dumb superhero movie for a very long time. And then like yesterday, they dropped the Far From Home trailer, the new Spider-Man trailer. And it
Did
was
they?
so fucking good. It was awesome.
I want to see that.
We'll have to watch it after this real quick.
Yeah.
Or get some food, then watch it. But hungry boy.
I'm so hungry, dude. I haven't
and then
eaten anything today.
yeah, so then I tweeted. I was like, Endgame had me pretty satisfied with Marvel or with movies with superhero movies for a long time, but then Far From Home told me to get fucked because
Yeah.
it did, dude. It fucking bangs. It looks really good.
I love that Spider-Man, dude.
He's such a good Spider-Man.
He's awesome.
Tom Holland is the man.
Tom Holland is the man. He's great.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited for the future of like the MCU. Like I really wasn't before Endgame. Like I was excited for Endgame, but I was like, Far From Home, all the other sequels, But this one really had me hyped for like whatever happens next, because it's just like new territory that we haven't been before, and I don't know like if we can ever go back. You know what I mean? Like I watched the original Iron Man, and it's like this is so grounded and intimate and honest and like real that like we're never gonna go back to this, and I don't know if we can ever have like the next Marvel movie, if it doesn't end in some gigantic way like this did, like won't it be kind of a letdown? Won't it be like
it will?
Oh yeah, well it was cool, but like I don't know. After seeing
Endgame was better.
After seeing Endgame, like how can anything be cool after this without like upping the stakes until it means nothing? So it really worries me from a writing standpoint.
You can't even make it bigger than Endgame, because
No, you
Endgame
would
was
never
too
make
big.
it that big. And it was the first time that it was ever that big.
Exactly.
Even if you somehow made it bigger, it would be the second time that you're doing it. And it would be like, oh yeah, I remember when Endgame did that.
Yeah.
And it's like this is the
and then
thing.
People compare and they're like, oh, I think Endgame did it better. And whatever.
And it'll be a huge mess for the rest of our lives
Yep.
and so, as far as like dude bros discussing movies and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for the future of the MCU.
What else do we have on the keep so we can wrap this?
That's it, dog. So
That's it?
I just want to have like some closing thoughts, maybe a final rating.
Yes.
Hit it.
Any closing thoughts? Or
You go first, man.
it was a good movie. I don't love superhero movies, but I was very satisfied with it. I understood it the whole way through. I thought there was gonna be so many loopholes and shit. I was like, that I wouldn't get a lot because I haven't seen them all. But I got like 95% of it. I asked Sean like 2 questions.
Like during the movie?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, who's that guy? And he's like, it's fucking Ant-Man. What are you talking about? It's Captain America.
No, I was like, why is Tony Stark and Captain America fighting?
Who's the old guy on the bench? Like, Dude, that's fucking.
I knew
Captain
that.
America. Are you fucking?
Anyways, I enjoyed the movie a lot.
Wait, who's this purple guy? I haven't seen him before. Is that the guy in Dragon Ball Z?
Why does his chin
Vegeta?
look like that? Why does he look so weird?
Oh, this looks weird. So,
Thanos?
closing thoughts? Rating?
My rating, I would give it 8.7.
8.7.
Just like Sean.
Hell
Or
yeah.
8.5. 8.5. Let's go 8.5. How about that?
Okay.
I would get
You know,
8.5.
I fluctuate. Yesterday, I probably would have given a different answer, but after I was like doing the research and like thinking about this movie and talking about it again,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to like rate it on its own because it's so many different things and it's completely unprecedented. But like, I don't know, seeing it, I don't know, man. I want to give it like I'd probably say a 9 out of 10 is fair.
Yes.
For like I mean, I feel like there's the things that are, you could trim the fat, or I think are what kind of makes it great though. Like, I think if any portion goes on, because I like to think of the movie as kind of 3 separate movies.
Yeah.
Like the first
3
one,
parts,
you know,
yes.
the 3 parts is we're on our fucking knees, like we're screwed, like we're screwed.
The first part
Second
is
act-
before is like 5 years in the
Uh-huh.
past, or
Well,
whatever.
5 years and 5 years in the future,
And then the future.
like this essentially, I would say the second act, the second movie really starts once they go back in time. I think that's the girthiest hour, and
Yeah.
that I feel like the second time is like the okay, like I kind of get it moment. Like I've seen this already. Like it was cool.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see the first time. Like probably one of the best parts to see for the first time. But I felt like the second time, and it could change again.
Yeah.
It was more of like, okay, this is a little like this is kind of where the length feels in the movie. Like this
Yeah.
is where it kind of feels. But that's what makes it great. Is it's like showing like
So what would you change to give it a perfect 10?
I wouldn't change anything. I just think the way that
But if you're
for what
giving
the
it
story-
a 9, you're saying you would change something. 'Cause
I know
it's
I'm
not
saying that
perfect.
it's long and it drags in the middle, but the things that I would cut to like slow that down would detract from how much I love it and why I love it. Because I love it because it's a perfect sequel to everything before it.
So maybe you
And
want to
that
give it
was
a
like-
higher rating.
So yeah, so I would maybe I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know like a different version of this movie than what I remember now. So I don't know what I would necessarily give it. But then the third act goes so fucking hard that it's like impossible
Yeah.
to not walk out of that theater and say that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. That was a 10 out of 10 because I was so stoked, dude. I was blown away. So I mean, I would say anywhere from 9 to 10 depending on my mood. Like
Yeah.
if I'm feeling really sadistic, maybe like an 8, 9, 8, 8, 7, dude. But even then, like
The
that
final,
wins me. That
the
shit
final
won
act-
me over, dude.
The final act sent it to the moon. It really did.
God, I can't even imagine that, dude. I wish that's one of those things. I've never really had an experience where I was like, I wish I could see that for the first time.
Again.
But that is one where it's like, I will never. That the movie, watching that movie, will never be as good as it was because I've already seen it before. I've known what happens.
The first time you see it is always like, holy shit. You know, you can't recreate that. But
Right. So hell yeah, dude. Folks who haven't seen Endgame, just maybe don't this time. I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, if you haven't seen Endgame and you still watch this or listen to this, wow. And then
Yeah.
2, even if you have seen it and you're still listening to this, wow, thank you.
Yeah,
We
that's a
love
long
you.
time. Yeah.
Let me know for $1 off merch. I will just Venmo you $1. That will cost me money. So you have to make sure that it's used for merch if I do that. But yeah, shit. All right, well we're gonna go. So I love you.
Thanks for listening to our
That was
review.
fun. I love talking about movies so much.
I know you do.
Guys, if you ever
We
want to
did
talk
this
about movies, just call me, text me, just talk to me. Well, let's just talk movies.
We did this
all
with
day.
Infinity War, and we did
Hereditary.
It was and Infinity War.
Yeah, Hereditary and
Yes,
I was saying
yes.
and Hereditary.
Yeah, Infinity War was just about as long as this. Maybe
Uh-huh.
long. I think it was longer. Was it not
It
longer?
could have been. Was it like 2 hours?
I thought it was like an hour and 45
It
minutes.
could have been.
What were we thinking? That's way too long. No one.
I wonder how many downloads it got, dude. I don't
Probably
know.
like 30. Anyways, thank you for listening to this. If you're still here, we love you, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.